Right, listen up, team. There have been reports of a new player in the underground. We don't know who it is, but we know they're organised, motivated, and building a team of henchmen and minions, the like of which the world has never seen before. This person is attempting to become an evil genius.
Sir,
What is it, Perkins?
would you say that the evil genius would have an underground lair, sir?
It would appear not, Perkins. However, I fear it's only a matter of time.
What do evil lairs look like, sir?
Well, Perkins, if I were to build an evil lair, not that I would, you understand, I'd design an evil lair, the like of which the world had never seen. Probably build it into a mountain, Perkins, underground. Throw in a barracks for the men, and a control room to organize the away teams. And a strong room, of course, store all my ill-gotten gains. Probably have to build some recreation items for the men. They get disloyal, you know, maggots.
Would you build traps, sir?
Hundreds of them, Perkins. Don't want agents snooping around while you're taking over the world. And I'd build a cover operation to hide the base from prying eyes. Camouflage, that's the key.
It's a good thing you're not an evil genius, sir.
Don't be such a damn fool, Perkins. Right, team, you have your orders. Get out there and find me a madman.
Okay, so at the last episode of Evil Monday, we will move to see what's going on. So here's Evil Monday, my game. So we'll load that now. Does that guy in that picture look familiar? Yes, he does look a little bit like me. Less of the monocle and hopefully less fat, but yeah, he does look a little bit like me. So, notice that says eliminated, so a little bit of an error there. Anyway, so as you can see, this is where we left off. We're going to kill him, as he's just a random agent. Now, what we need to do is do the research. So, let's see. Now, our options, if we look on here, because this is going to actually, so you guys get to actually vote in the chat as to which one of these ones you want to see. So if you say A, B or C as to which of these doomsday devices you want to see. So A will be the ID eliminator, B will be the codex and environment chamber, and C is the codex and supercomputer that gives you the gravity disruptor. So vote now. Okay, it's looking like the C's have it, so the gravity disruptor is the one they want. So it's the codex and the supercomputer. So let's go for codex and supercomputer. Go. Okay, so are the volumes okay? Can you hear everything all right, guys? Right, okay, so as you can see, this is the design. You know this design reasonably well so far. I've still got this area here. This is looking pretty good. Now, what I needed to do was put a speaker in here and then a speaker in there, because basically anything that happens here, I want these guys to charge to their rescue. So that means what I need to do is I need to put another desk there. And what I also need to do is put in a couple of more holding cells. And also interrogation-y chairs. Whoops. I did that wrong. Okay, so get rid of that. Boom. Put another one back in there, interrogation chair there. Okay, so there's the entrance, and this is the gun turrets here. So you can see basically crap loads of turrets. What we'll do is we'll put another one there. And put another one here, just to be on the safe side. So it gives us plenty of options to work with. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to put one there and one there. Okay. So, anyway, these are my shortcuts set up. And if I go there and set this one up here as number 4. Control 4. There we go. Oh, what's this? Over here, look. Soldiers. Yay. So I won't mark them for death because they might wander into the Uber trap. And this is the Uber trap. So as you can see, loads of people, soldiers from previous attacks, all in there. And as you can see, look at that. Look at that money, see? So they're generating me, what, 20, 25 grand every time that goes on. There's my guy in his little lair. And this is the guy who's setting everything off. So you can see. And if you click on the circuits there, every time you see it flicker yellow, it will actually show that's the circuit being set off. So you see he hasn't set off any circuits yet there. So nothing's going on. As soon as he moves around, there we go. See, look, so that's the sensor there. And then the Uber trap is being activated. So as you can see, this is all set up quite nicely. And look, he doesn't even get past those guns, which is kind of slightly funny. But now the thing is, the problem is with having it in here is that when you want to actually, when you get the mission to kill him, you have to basically wait for him to get out and then mark all these to be deleted. And then what will happen is they'll take him down to this one, and then you can move him out and do the thing, the mission, without him getting automatically incapacitated by the guns. That's the only drawback. But otherwise, it keeps everybody happy and keeps that lot in there. Now, let's put a security camera there. And that's going to be number 3. These are going to be number 3, number 3. And what we'll also do is we will put a speaker here. We probably don't need it, but it's always helpful to have. So essentially, they're going to be over here. Let's have a look. Speakery. There we go. Another speaker there. Okay. Ah, there we go. So, there we go. The Doomsday device payload has been chosen. I can now build the rocket silo foundations, and I can also build the hangar. Now, if you look on here, see, look, there you go. Build the cavern in preparation. Now, this is where the cavern's going to go. Now, what I need to do is also build certain things to reach that area. So, what we're going to do is get rid of that, because what I want to do is build a corridor there. Okay. Another corridor here. Whoops, don't need that bit. Another corridor. Now the reason I'm not stretching it all out is I can put other stuff here. So I could put like a relaxation room or something like that. You know, whatever. So we'll put, oh no, that's not the hangar. Let's go to the corridor. And again. Okay, that will be the security. Oh, sons of bitches! Look, they're setting fire to everything again, the bastards. See, so now they basically start blowing up stuff unless I let them through. So now I'm going to let them through, and then put a door in there behind them. Hopefully, they'll get blown around. There we go. Goodbye, fellas. Arse wipes. And we'll put that to level 3, and we'll put a new door back in there. So hopefully, one of my guys should move over and do that pretty soon. So let's see. Hopefully they don't start shooting that door, because that would annoy me. Hurry up and get gassed. Anyway. So, as you can see, these are all the entrances. Now, what I'm going to do is unpause that, unpause here. And also, I need another one there. Now, I had to take the time clock off the back because it wouldn't allow me to actually create that corridor otherwise. So this is Evil Genius, if you've never seen it. Again, that's been out since 2004. It's quite old, but it's immensely good fun. Now, what I'm going to do also is I'm going to stick a little barracks on the end here. Now, all that's going to be for is so that these guys here can go and relax. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put loads of beds in there. So bed, 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 bed. So now, look, that's a capture tag. Do I want that guy captured? Let's have a look. No, I don't. So I'm going to change that to kill. So basically, oh look, there are all my cameras for that front entrance. So as you can see, oh look at all that. See, there we go. Sort of like cross coverage. Looks all very nice. You can buy this on Steam for about £6. I cannot recommend this game highly enough. I do have the unofficial patch, which enables such things as 150 minions instead of 100, and other bits and pieces like indoor turrets, which are these things here. Normally, it wouldn't let you build them inside. So, that's what's going on there. So there's section 3 there, and, you know, obviously anybody around that area. Actually, what we need to do is we need to put another one. We'll unpause that. And we'll put another loudspeaker there for the people who are eating their food can be alerted as well. So, that guy's still unconscious, but as soon as he becomes less unconscious, he'll become significantly dead. So, let's see. Are these guys still in? See, look, they keep blowing my shit up. See, look, 45. Okay. So, as you can see, that door there, I've got to wait for one of my guys. I've got to leave that as... Well, look on Steam. Look on Steam. If you have Steam, go to steampowered.com, have a look on there, do a search for Evil Genius. It might have the information you're after. Okay, so let's build this central section here. Rocket Silo Foundations. That's going to take a while to build. So let's see. Right, there he goes. He's conscious, and he's about to become very unconscious. Almost permanently so, in fact. There we go. He's now zipped up in a plastic bag, and all the better for it, in my opinion. I didn't unpause 2 corridor constructions. Let's have a look. No, they're all unpaused. See? Unpaused. Built, see? Built there. And that one's in the process of being blown out with dynamite. So, as you can see, right. Hopefully, that's down to 45. You see, the thing is, that's what stops them getting out. If they blow that door off, that could, yeah, don't blow the bloody doors off. That could cause me a problem. That's what the problem soldiers give you. Which reminds me, anybody who gets out of my Uber trap, I want to deal with. So, hold down the shift key and buy some guns. So anyone comes out of the Uber trap, boom, dead. That's essentially the gig there. Sorry, but what's going on? Okay. What I'm going to do is I will give you a quick demonstration as to what happens. And by doing that, we're going to do a new game. So I'll put it on just medium for this one, and we'll take Shenyu this time. Yep, we'll lose the current game. Okay, so essentially the idea of the game, Bandman, is to become an evil genius and to take over the world. And in order to do that, you decide to go to various islands, and what you have to do is build up your base and essentially do acts of infamy around the world in order to do that. So this is where it starts. This is how the game begins. So there is the rock and the base that you are going to work into, build up all your stuff, do whatever it is you want to do. But it's completely empty, so all you've got is just an entrance. You've got a selection of gold. There is your evil genius. Now, if I get him out of there, he has a area of effect, which is this thing here, and it changes depending on what stat it applies to. So it's pink and it's blue. Now, if we look at this guy, you can see here, that's his health, which is red. Blue is his loyalty. Orange, I guess, is his smarts. Pink is his attention, and endurance is green. So these stats can go down. So if there's body bags all over the place, they will reduce the stats, but your guy can also bring the stats back up by standing near to his people. So this guy here is a henchman. He has the ability to have special attacks, and he has a certain amount of lives, and he's got a reasonably good health pool and loyalty pool. So, but he is controllable. See? These guys are not. So all your minions, so only your main guy, your evil genius, which you can click on there, or your guy here is movable and controllable. Hello. So, but what you can do is it's about important management of your base and your people, about how you get to what you do. So now this was a base design that worked well in the actual game when I played it. So let's have a look. Let's put that there. That's an outside entrance. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a corridor. Okay, so this corridor goes down here. That's all it is left mouse button, drag it down like that, and then tells you how much it will cost to build it, and then you click that and it will then start paused mode there, you see. So let's build another corridor over here like so, and then we go up there. So that is basically a corridor. Now what happens is that they then have to go to here. This is your little stack of money, okay, and they have to go and get one of these briefcases, use the money, go and get dynamite and blow this corridor out of the rock. Okay, now let's see if we can find Lord Kane. Here he is. So Lord Kane's over here. Let's tell him to... Nah, leave them. Let them get on with it. Now, what you've also got down here is your evil intentions, what you've got to do, your objectives. You have information here like how many minions you've lost, what you've done, how much money you've spent, minion training. You've got this, which is where you specify how many minions you've got. Now, that shows the max amount of minions that you're allowed to have at any one time. But we can put that up to 5. Now, if you see there, it basically says only get a recruit every 60 seconds for no cost. You can turn that up, and they'll come in basically every second, but it will cost you $4,000. So that's the difference. Now, here's a minion here. So you can click on them, find out what each one's got a name. You can find out what he's doing. As you can see, he's constructing your base. So he's going to put down that dynamite. So as you can see, it slides the dynamite into position. And any second now, we'll press the button. And there you go. You can now basically see it all being cut out of the rock. So that is the corridor. Now they're going in there and they're fabricating it, all that kind of stuff. And there is the corridor. So you can zoom in, you can spin it round, you can have a look at the corridor, all the nice reflections on it. Doesn't it look wonderful? So there is our first basic corridor. Now, you have doors. You can put doors in, all kinds of things. These things take power and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty effective dynamite considering he stuffed it in there. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's mold dynamite and it burrows its way through. Now, you see that little icon there? That basically means that's marked for building. Now, if that is grey, that means that no minion has been assigned to build that particular corridor yet. If it is white, then it means somebody's wandered off to go and get the money, to get the dynamite, to blow the corridor up. There we go. Any minute now. And look, he actually got damaged slightly by that explosion, so he just lost a little bit of health. Okay, so as you can see, that is our first start of the base. Now, these little areas here, this is rock that you cannot break through. You cannot break through it. So, what we want to do, essentially, is I want a base that is a fake entrance that will go into an Uber trap, which will basically lock them into it and it will get me loads of money, and another base which is basically the entrance, but I want it to be guarded. So the question is, how do I do that? Now, what I do is I bring the corridor round like so, like that. Okay, now what we do is we're going to build a corridor all the way down to the bottom. Let me just check something, because that's where my things are going. There. Okay, so this is the main corridor entrance. Okay, now I'm just going to just build that out there. So what's going to happen is that that's going to have doors there to protect that entrance, and it's also going to have a door there. Now, what I need to do is that in order to have the various doors, let me show you, let me build this first, and then I'll show you what I mean. As you see, we're now up to 5 workers. These are all the various different workers you can get as you go on. So these are also alert levels. So you can see stand down, take the base off alert, yellow alert. All minions will arm themselves with weapons, including your little yellow guys. And then red alert, basically they will kill anybody on sight. So any hostile people they will kill on sight. Right. What we'll also do is we'll build a new strong room, because it's not really financially prudent, to, one, not have an entrance to your safe, but 2, to have your safe outside the building. So once that's done, we'll move that in here and it'll be a bit more secure. So if you guys are happy with this so far, I mean, by all means, I can go back to the other base and show you what's going on with that. We can progress that a little bit further. But if you want to understand all this, I would recommend you watch the series. And all the rest of it. So it's entirely up to you. There is a series on my channel, the Chadtopia, called Evil Monday. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a door in. Now, there's a door. You plug it in like that. Now, fire extinguishers, very helpful things, because they are needed to put fires out. If you don't have any, then they've got no way of putting the fire out. Right. Okay. So.
They will, of course, die.
So I've marked these all for death by holding down the control key and basically going right click, death, there. Now, these are the body bags. Now, you can see there the negative effect that it will have on my minions. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move these body bags out here, because I do not want them to affect my minion stats for the time being. So, to be honest, I don't think these guys care. They're already dead. Serves them right for coming to my base, the ungrateful gits. Okay. So, there's a door. See that? Now, that door basically means anybody can use it. That level means only your minions and henchmen can use it. That one means only your evil self, as in your evil genius. And that one basically means your evil self can use it, but also you can have guards in front of it. Now, that's a very important thing, because if we... Oh, no, we don't want to do that yet. What we're going to do is we are going to actually create loads of areas for doors to be. Okay, so you can see all this here. So there we go. Is that going to be enough? Actually, I might have to leave it there. I don't know yet. Oh, it should be alright. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll have to leave it at that for the time being. So, what we're going to do is we're going to build doors there, and by putting them to level 4, it means that guards will stand outside here. So in order for the enemies to get in here, they'd have to go through an entire corridor full of guards, which obviously is not going to go well for them. Right, so let us put that there. Now, because we want to get more people, I'm just going to build another corridor here. Give me a second. And then this is where what's known as the Uber trap is going to be. Okay, so this is where the Uber trap is looking to be active, and let's see, put that in there. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then the actual design of it is going to be kind of like that. You see? So we'll have to see if that works. Now, yes, I will need a training room and a barracks, so I'm building the barracks now. So let's leave that there like that. And build that as a barracks. There you go, see, big, huge corridor being blown out. And we'll make that corridor 1 more length. So what we can do now that we've got a new bank area, is we can delete that. And all the money will start being moved in here. Okay, so this is where the Uber trap's going to be. And essentially, but we're building it as a barracks temporarily, so that you can essentially get many as possible in. All these guys, you can put it up to like 90 or so and get as many people in as build as quickly as possible. Yes, I know my Uber trap is uneven. Doesn't matter. Well, technically it's not. As you see there, it's 4 on one side, 4 on the other. It'll be smaller than that anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it'll probably only be 3 and 3. So anyway, we have a control room. Now the control room enables you to do your evil stuff in the world. So if we change that there, we only want a small one because we're actually going to build a control room elsewhere in the base. So what we'll do is put that there, and then if you want to build multiples, you just hold down shift like that. We'll put a thing in there, and we'll put no, we can't put any more there, but we'll put a time clock. Now time clocks are immensely helpful. What they do is they enable you to say, I want a certain amount of minions in this area. Oh look, there you go, our money's been transferred. So you can say, I want a certain amount of minions to stay in this room on a regular basis. So you can use it for armed guards, all that kind of stuff. Now, one thing I do love about this game is the music. Now, I did this in my channel on the series, but listen to the escape music. So there you go, and that actually varies, I think. See, every time you go to the tab menu or the port, this pauses the game as well. Let's try that again. This is the music that's on the end of my little bit of each video that I do. Anyway, many reasons to buy Evil Genius. Unfortunately, for those of you who are not aware, the company that made Evil Genius, Elixir Studios, went bust. A real shame. So now we have a freezer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do something rather strange with it. We're going to build this here, and we're going to build that there, like so. Actually, we need that there because we want a door in there. And then we'll build like so. Good things always die. Yes, yes, that's true. But this is also designed by the same guys who had involvement with Theme Hospital, another game that I'm doing in my series. So now, the reason why I've got this here, this is a design that I have seen on YouTube. I can link you to it at some point, but the design is fantastic. Essentially what it is that this is where you have the armory, so when they crate it into body bags, they just get taken straight to here. You see? So what I'm going to do, every time you save it, I love this, watch. You click save, and it calls this devious plan. Save music, how cool is this? Yep. These are all the saves. There's also in here Neil Personal. So, and there are community patches. You can go to a place called evilplanet.com, which I highly recommend with lots of information. They've got a full walkthrough, but if you want to learn the game and enjoy the game, I would advise you only to refer to that if you're stuck, or if something happens. So now I could show you Neil Personal, but it will basically show you the end of the game, and I don't want to spoil that for you. So what I'll do actually is, if I load Evil Monday New, then I can show Bandman and how the design philosophy works for this second base. Okay, so if we press P, everything's paused, including the music. So essentially, you can see here the design has carried on. So you've got a multiple door. Now that door there is a level 4 door. So you can see there's a guard outside it. And this is a level 2 door, which means people will walk through. And these are all level 4 doors here. So you can see multiple guards in front of this. And you can see this wonderful collection. This is what I love about this game, is you can pause it but still select things in the game. It's just such a nice touch. So what you've got is you've got cameras, okay, that alert your troops to that, and then you have speakers that then alert your troops to say, so in other words, the camera detects them and the speakers then alert them. And you can build in frozen time as well, which is even better. If you see one of the videos that I did in the series, if somebody, feel free to post a link to my YouTube channel, as I'm obviously busy on the keyboard at the moment. Look up the Evil Genius playthrough, and then you can obviously watch that and see how it's worked. So if you enjoy it, I recommend highly that this game is fantastic. So, and now what you've also got is these are rest areas, so the minions can go and rest and recuperate their stats, and you've got them at the end of these corridors, so they don't have to walk all the way over here, for example, which is where my barracks are, to get a rest and a lie down. Now, as you can see here, this is the... Thank you, appreciate that. Now, this is one of the armories you get later on, so you can see all the desks here. These are the desks that have 1, 2 and 3, and you can link them into different circuits for your cameras. So you can have number 2 covers outside, number 1 will cover inside, and number 3 just covers this area. You don't need cameras there because you don't need to know if people are doing things back and forth. It doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So this is the design philosophy behind this. As you can see, lots of money. And this is a shitload of power. Thank you guys, I appreciate that in the chat. This is a shitload of power, which is needed, as you can see. That there basically means that how much power I'm using, that's how much power I've got available. If that turns yellow, then it means that these generators will start to wear. And as you can see, they've got a certain amount of wear. If they get down to 0, they explode, they catch fire, and they make everything else catch fire. So that's really not good. You want to avoid that. In fact, I could probably do some fire extinguishers there at some point. Now, so the design of this base, this here, look at this. Basically, after you've just killed them in interrogation, you literally just get to walk through to the next room, into the freezer, stick them on the rack, and that's it. The good thing about the freezer, shitload is a technical term, yes. The good thing about this rack and the freezer is the rack enables you to store more in the single area, and the freezer actually negates the area of effect, negative area of effect that the body bags has. So yeah, I am running a nuclear power plant. As you can see, these are nuclear power plants. Now, you don't get those to start with. You have to research this stuff. And that comes with the stuff that you... So it's like a slow progression. Now here is an area to cook food so that minions can keep themselves well fed, as you can see. Fellows sitting down having something to eat, as well as this area as well, and these guys will go in and do their fooding. You also have this area, which is where they will be able to get their health back to normal with people like this guy. And here is the training area. So this is where you would train your minions up to be different kind of minions, and it depends on the training device. And as you can see, It depends on what you set here. You also have a training room, so to speak, or an archives room that they can use to replenish their smarts, improve themselves, all that kind of funky stuff. And another food area here. Now, the idea behind this design here, this is, you get super agents in the game, and they are very, very nasty, and they will basically blow up everything unless you find a way to neutralize them. So that's what I've got here. This is the super agent containment room. Basically, it's guns, lots and lots of guns. So the idea is to incapacitate him before he can do anything. Before he can do anything and actually blow up any stuff, he gets incapacitated and then bunged back in the cell. That's all this is for. Now, this has the potential to look after 5 super agents. What's this? I thought the mannequins? The mannequins? What are the mannequins? Sorry, not sure I follow. No, the minions are not my prisoners. They choose to work for me. They also can desert as well if they're not happy with how things are going. This is research, so you'll get this eventually. This is the research machine, and you'll be able to then start doing research, but that comes along at a certain point in the game. What these? Oh, the mannequins were my prisoners. No, they're just training dummies. But yeah, I see what you mean. How do other super special agents appear other than the bint? Okay, so essentially, if you look on here, you can see this is where they appear. Now, you'll also get either an indication. This is the world map. So you'll see an indication that they'll either be a normal member of the FBI or whatever they call themselves, the forces of justice and all that bollocks, will appear on one of here. Now, if you get a super agent, they will go around sniffing around the world until they appear on your island. When they appear on your island, you'll know about it because it'll indicate it. Yeah, if they desert, I usually kill them. The only way they leave my organization is in a body bag. So they can basically turn up at any time, and but it's also dependent on what's known as heat. Now, if you look here, you can see these are all the various areas. You can see there, Saber, see? Patriot, look at the top left here, see? Patriot, Smash, Saber, see, look, Hammer, and an Anvil. So these are all the various, organizations. Now, if you can look in the top right, you can see that heat. That's how much heat I have from my activities in that area. So that can be either stealing money, and all the rest of it. So there's still quite a bit to do. And so these are missions. So what you need is you click on one of these missions and it's a certain risk and it gives you a bit of notoriety and it generates some heat. But you need a certain class of person to do it, of your minion. So you have to have 10 technicians in there. Okay, now what happens also is that whichever of your minions are in this particular area to do the mission, they all have different effects. So essentially, you can basically steal, you can plot, and you can defend or attack. Okay, usually it's defend. So as you can see, the marksman, as he's a military guy, is good at stealing money, very poor at plotting, because what you have to do is you have to plot out new missions. So yeah, I can get them off the world map. I will do eventually. But this guy here, he's not very good at grabbing money. He's okay at defending attacks, but he's excellent at plotting for new missions. So if you play on the easy level, all of the stuff kind of just appears as you do it. If you play on the hard level, which reminds me, we need to get that, don't we? Yes. If you play on the hard level, then stuff will only appear when you plot for them or you've done prior missions beforehand. Okay, so that shows my notoriety. So I'm about halfway through maybe. But the heat varies depending on what you've been doing in that area. So as you can see, the heat for Siberia, ironic heat in Siberia, yes, I'm aware, is different. So at the moment I'm getting a lot of heat from Saber, and that's about it. So essentially that means that most of the agents coming to me will be a lot. Now, missions, oh god, there's an awful lot. Now, let's just see. you can also see, so look, region complete. See? And you've also got how many missions. So the threshold, acts of infamy, breach, blah, blah, blah. So these are all information. But there's probably 200, maybe more than that, 200 to 300 missions. There's an awful lot, enough to keep you going. Now, bear in mind, I've played this game through 4 times from start to finish. And for those of you who have seen what's going on with Evil Genius on my channel, we're up to this stage and we still haven't built the Doomsday device, and there's still plenty of things to go through. See, look, we still got to deal with that super agent, and there'll be more super agents coming along. Yes, it would be amazingly cool if they made Evil Genius 2. I would love to see that. There isn't actually an Evil Genius app on Facebook. If you look it up, you can play Evil Genius after a fashion on Facebook. If you like that, then by all means, that might encourage them to make an Evil Genius 2. Or maybe we could get a Kickstarter for it. That would be epically cool. Anyway. Now, is there any questions that people want answered, or would you like me to play the game a little bit more and then we'll move on to Planet Side? That's interesting. Well, I didn't so much, I did cheat, yeah. Basically what I put is I put in cheat codes that enable me to have all the traps and everything. And yeah, you want to listen to the pause music. Bah, 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 bah. And so I put the cheat code in, and I basically played it through, and I got all the way through to the second mission. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the problem. I'm just going to quit this out a second. I'm just going to show you screenshots because I've got a lot of screenshots on here, and there was actually a problem with the game. So let's have a look. View the online library. Okay, come on, library. Evil Genius. Come on. Right, so here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Where's it gone? What I'm looking... Ah, here we go. Right, so. ChadOS, yes. Right. So these are all the screenshots that I took of Evil Genius over the course of time. Now, let's see. See, there you go, various bits and pieces going on. Where is the one that I'm looking for? There we go. This is what happened. This is what happened, and essentially this is, yeah, Research It FFS is what this is called, because I had that and I told them to do the research, and yeah. Yay! So essentially, and literally they'd walk in here and they'd just drop it on the ground and nothing would happen with it. And so literally this is the second island, and so it, you know what you've seen in one on the stream just previously, I got to that point, couldn't get any further, and had to start the game again from scratch, this time with no cheats. That's essentially what happened. So bear in mind that was how my first example, my first attempt at Evil Genius occurred. Obviously, when I was doing the Evil Monday, there was some problems, and at one point I lost the save file because of doing the patch, because the unofficial patch caused the save file to go wrong. So I had to basically redo the game up until that point. So let's go back into Evil Genius. Yeah, it could be that. I don't know. Sometimes I've seen him glitch out. You've seen it in previous episodes.
Right.
Um, but sometimes not. I don't know. I think maybe that was the case. I don't know. But I haven't cheated since, and I've completed the game 4 times. So let's go back into Evil Monday New. So I think we'll play this for maybe another 15-20 minutes, and then we'll go on to PlanetSide 2. Or actually, I could show you something else. There's something else I want to show you that's very cool, and then we'll do PlanetSide 2 in 30 minutes or 28 minutes from now. So we'll do this for 15 more minutes. Okay, so let us put in the auto surgeon, which has just been done. It's not so much a nuke. Think of it as a weapon of destruction. So basically, the doomsday device. It's not a nuke, but it depends on what you build here. What you search here is as to what it is. Up there, see? So you can have an ID Eliminator, Earthquake Beam, or Gravity Disruptor. And let's turn off the yellow alert. At one point, you then get to issue an ultimatum and all the rest of it. So, yeah, a bomb of love. The love bomb. Oh dear. For those of you who've never heard of it, go on to, there used to be a TV series that was just terrible, but kind of good in its terribleness, called The Love Boat. Look it up on YouTube for the intro to it. It was terrible. It was unfortunately typically American, very 80s, 70s, all that kind of stuff. Let's see if we can put some of these in here. These are traps. So this is essentially what I'm doing, is I'm setting up traps for agents. So they'll come in here, they'll break into that, and then that motion sensor will unlock those trapdoors and they'll fall into big flamey pits, which is good. We like flamey pits. Okay. So, yeah, I know Viking Yaffa, you've finished it before, but not everybody has. So, anyway, oh look, he got incapacitated. Now, what I also did is these areas here are so that these guys don't have to walk all the way back over to the other side. Over here, they can literally just walk to here and recover their stats. So they can basically walk out and walk back in. And so that's why I put things like this to keep them healthy and fed, and also things like this to keep them healthy as well for when they have a run-in with this Kung Fu boy in here. Yeah. Anyway. Now, there is a thing called heat that's actually in this game as well. Now, you notice here, see that heat generates 10 heat. So if you have it right by your front entrance, you see, these things don't generate any heat, the doors. It means that it actually generates attention and they get the suspicions. Now, this is where you get to see my sentry guns work. That, gentlemen, is what you call a crossfire. As you can see, these are all guns, hidden sentry guns. As you can see, look at that. See, there's hidden sentry gun. And there's a hidden camera as well, which is just cool. Look at them. See, disguised sentry gun, or disguised security camera. So, and yeah, he mysteriously fell over. What happens when you've put, you fill up the prison? Well, in this case here, nothing will happen because they will not get out of here until I am ready for it. Because even if they do get to here, they have got these high security doors, which are very, very tough. 500 compared to a standard door, which if you look here, is 200. So they're basically 2.5 times more powerful or more strength than a standard door. And they've got basically 5 to get through before they get into my base. And I can lock these doors at any time so that they're even harder for them to get through, and then basically have loads of people waiting. And the thing is, as soon as they get their way out of here, I can declare red alert, I can send my minions over, I can do whatever they want. Aha! So that's the objective complete, and then we go to here, and this is where we got to build the super rocket superstructure, and there's some diplomats coming. So, let's see. Here we go. Look at that. Goes all the way down there as well. See, look, that wonderful rocket cavern. See, look. Someone's tried to get out. See, look. Not even got any distance. So there's the rocket cavern. Doesn't it look wonderful? Yeah, if they get out successfully, essentially it means that you wave goodbye to those sentry guns. But I'd much rather wave goodbye to these sentry guns than wave goodbye to the rest of my base, which is what will happen, because this guy, especially Jet Chan, who is this guy here. Okay, let's unlock that. And then unlock that. What I'm doing, the thing is you can play with the AI. So I'm setting those bases to level 1 so they can just walk through them straight away. They don't have to do anything about it. And then I'll lock the door behind them, and then all of a sudden they're in my Uber trap, and they will generate me loads of money, moo-ha-ha, etc. Yeah, he blows the shit out of everything. He put big, huge explosive bombs down and basically blows everything up. And he'll put one bomb down, and he'll run over somewhere 20 feet away, and he'll put another bomb down. And then you're fighting against fire and all sorts of other things, which is why there are lots of fire extinguishers in this area so that I can put out a lot of fires. So you would have seen it in previous episodes. Oh, look, are those some tourists? They are. Nice bikini, miss. It's not going to suit you for long. Yeah, take a picture of that, you bitch. Okay, this is my island. I do not tolerate people coming onto my island without my permission. That guy we want, as he is one of the diplomats for our mission. And there must be another one around here somewhere. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, that still hasn't been built yet. And there's the other guy. Whoop, whoop. No, we want to... Best vacation ever. Yes, yeah, damn right there. So there's one of the guys who's now been captured. So that's one of the Patriot ambassadors. As you can see here, see Patriot Anvil Hammer. We've got to get that. Now, what we also need to do is go onto the world stage. See that? That's what we want. We want to get as many of those as we can. So, I'm going to take them to hiding. Yeah, the hotel. You can build hotels. But to be honest, it's my island. I'm not going to waste my money on hotels. And hotels use up valets. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's my island. They want to come to my island for a holiday. Feel free. They won't be leaving. So, what we need is 5 guards, 4 mercs, and 2 quantum physicists. So, down here, we'll click on guards. I'll put in 8 guards. And, let's see, mercs. I've only got 4 mercs. Oh, no, I've got 5. That'll be fine. I'll use them. And then we'll put in 3 of those, and there's some other guys as well. Okay, now, so you can see there's a helicopter icon. Those guys will be transferred out there eventually. Now, the difference is, when you've got troops out there, plotting means you plot for new missions, like this thing here. Stealing means you'll steal money. To be honest, I've got the Uber trap. I've got 10 million. I really don't need to worry about stealing money. But also, what stealing money does is it generates heat, and it grabs people's attentions. So, and hiding basically means you hide for a period of about 2 to 3 minutes from any attention from Hammer agents or Patriot agents or whatever. Oh, what's this? Oh God, bloody soldiers. Red alert. So we'll leave them to have a bit of fisticuffs. We'll also capture him. He's been captured, excellent. Come on, hurry up and kill them all. Nothing like a good punch up in the corridor, is there? One of my guys has been incapacitated, Dubai. Okay, so is that guy there running? Yes, he is. We need to find the other guys. Okay, so they're tourists. They can die. He needs to die. And he needs to be captured. These guys are all disappearing off to the mission. So there we go. We'll send those over, and as you can see, smash, saber, and all the rest of it. He mostly plays this school. Yeah, I was about to kill the diplomats, But I've now got them, there you go, captured. So, losing quite a few troops here. Hopefully they'll run out here and then come under fire from the turrets, because, bless them, they're soldiers. They're loyal, but they're not very smart. See? Those bullets coming out. So, any second later, let's go back to yellow alert. If you click on it twice, then it basically silences the... I think... No, you're not going to get in there. Unfortunately, that's not built as a proper trap yet, so... Never mind. Oh no! They've all mysteriously fallen over. How sad. There's the other guy. I'm not killing them, because you can see they're flashing green, which means I'm hitting their endurance. Oh god, now what? So there's that guy there. That security door bypassed is essentially my Uber trap. So one of these doors here. Now, what's happened? Yeah, these guys need to get picked up, which they will eventually. Excelente. This guy decided to move. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to interrogate these fellas. Okay. So, as you can see, there we go. And we've also now got an option to defeat Jet Chan. You can only kill a super agent if you have the mission to do it. He seems not very ambassadorial like. Right, so let's watch the interrogation of the ambassador, shall we? Okay, so we are now watching the interrogation of an ambassador by a minion. Ah, you see the devious smoking, but not letting him have one. Devious. Such devious things going on. I actually love the Michael Jackson torture the most. Here we go. And we should succeed in the mission as he snuffs it. So there we have it. Oh, crap. Die horribly, all you horrible soldiers. This is because I wasn't paying attention. This is what happens. Because they should have all been killed by the guns. That's the whole point, is they get killed by the guns before they even make it this far. Ugh. Anyway, let's do some more interrogations. The soldiers are a pain in the ass. Right, what we're going to do is... There's mostly... Yeah, we'll do that. What you can do is switch these rooms off. And then everybody in the room will vacate it. And we'll hopefully then go and deal with these tossers. See, so he's being interrogated. Yeah, the army guys always blow my stuff up as well, which is why I always tend to basically have these turrets out the front. So here we go. Kung Fu boys are in there. Marksmen are being lost. Yeah, we've still got them. Which reminds me, I need to move up the diplomats. Shut up. Come on, fellas. You can do it. Fisticuffs a la extremis. Yeah, there we go. Right, so as you can see, for that and for many reasons, that's why they've got to make their way through the whole sodding base to get to my power plant. That's why you have this here. That's why it's so important. Okay, so now that's back. Switch the control room back on. So, let's see. This guy's still being interrogated. Let's be over here. Let's set that to level 1, get them through. See, that's the thing. If I set that back to level 3, watch, I bet they turn around. No? Okay, maybe they won't. Oh well, I'll just have to mark them all for assassination, courtesy of bullety guns. Wait for it, fellas. Welcome to my island. Oh well, they get away with some heat, but to be honest, I don't care. I shall kill all of them now. Let's see what the objectives are. So we're on here. There you go. So I've got to get 3 more diplomats. So there's a few. Cheeky bugger. So there's 1 diplomat who's now being interrogated. Another one's being interrogated. Look, there's Michael Jackson going on. So anyway. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? But the thing is also, those guys that carry body bags, these guys, their stats take a dip as they're carrying the body bag. But you can see them now. See, look, yeah, that little arrow just came off him. Oh, yes, there we go. See, now I've got to install a diplomat and another hammer and a smash diplomat I've still got to capture. Oh, Nelly! Loads of soldiers. They're all going to die horribly. See, pick this son of a bitch up. God's sake. What I might do is I might send Dubai over there to pick him up. Right, let's see. So we can teleport him over. So he's going to chop him into fish bait with his sword. And he's going to run back towards the guns. Smart boy. There we go. Dubai should now pick him up and transport him. Excellent. So, this should be fun. Hello, Sergeant Volkov. I would say they're about in range. Oh, not yet, not yet. Let's see. There we go. Wait for them all to be in range. And then you basically right-click, hold down Control, and kill them all. And because they've been spotted by this camera, all my troops are coming out to assist. So the soldiers are not long for this world, and damn right too. So, let's check out here. See, look, all these guys have now arrived, and if I click that, go, they will now start bringing in the resources I'm after. Oh, what's this? There we go. That's one of the missions I've got to do to put one of these guys, see? Plant a diplomat. So the question is, what's remaining?
Good evening, and welcome to the Southern African Nightly News Bulletin. Today's headline is the hostile takeover of the Lagers Diamond Corporation by an undisclosed company. The previous owners are mysteriously unavailable and new owners decline to comment. Insider sources suggest that the Lagers will no longer produce jewelry diamonds, instead diverting all its production for internal industrial usage.
Well, there you go. This guy is going to make his way out. I don't know why he got imprisoned in there, but if I don't want him to get imprisoned in there, it's because there were too many people in here. That's the reason why he got moved over there. So I'm waiting for him to come out, and then I'll mark him for, you know, a good kicking. And then, oh, is that a... Oh, that's Mofo or Moco. So here we go. We'll send her up here. Rocket building may commence. Right click. Ah, yeah, that's the point actually. The hangar. I need to build the hangar section. So let's go in here. What I tend to do is just go like that. See how much of the hangar I can build. See? And then we just snip bits off it. Like so. There we go. Don't need those bits. Don't need those bits. Don't need those bits. And that bit there. So there we go. Doesn't that look wonderful? Very hangar-like. Take the snip off there as well. And build the hangar. So what we can also do is build the first stage of the rocket. We don't have enough resources for everything else. See, look, he's going there already. See? The question is, where is that other guy? Is he there? He is. Let's attack him. Now, if I lock this door here, level 3, this guy will then turn around and take him to another location. See, oh, I love the animation on this. Look at this. So cool. Come on, pick him up, take him back to the other place. I don't have 10 billion, I have 10 million. Oh God, here we go. Bloody soldiers again. Let's unlock that door. Let's unlock that door. And they'll probably lose interest. Oh, more soldiers. If we lock... Yeah, there we go. Get in there, boys. There we go. More money. See, that's 11 and then 6 characters after. That's a million. But also bear in mind when you play this on hard level, why is there nobody in there? There should be everybody in there. When you build that hangar, everything you build is actually 25%. That's going to cause me a problem because I need people there to actually go and get stuff, get that guy back into his hole, otherwise he could start blowing shit up. Yeah, that's a fair point. The door is locked. Let's unlock it for a second. Yeah, thank you, Viking. Appreciate that. Tend to forget these things sometimes. So let's have a look. These guys going round and round. Well, she is. That's a good thing about locking in tourists. They panic. And the soldiers turn around. So let's see. Are they carrying anybody about? Seems rather calm about it, doesn't he? Okay. So, let's get him interrogated and him interrogated. Okay, So what I'll do is I'll interrogate them and then obviously deal with these fellas. See, look, they're coming back and they're going to start firing at that goddamn door. I just know it. Because they can't get through it. Latest, fellas. And they get gassed as well. Let's set it up to level 1. Will they make their way through? No, they won't. They'll stop. Let's put it back to level 3 and they'll turn around and investigate. Watch. That's interesting. That door seems to have turned to a level 3. As soon as I turn it back to a level 3 or level 1, they'll lose interest. That door is of no interest to me. See what I mean? Quirks. Nonchalantly walking through 50 guns shooting him. Yeah, that's a brave fella. Right, so that's now building. Let's build the rest. Rocket stage 2, rocket stage 3, and we don't have enough resources yet. Let's see how our mission's getting on. God, look how many people we're down. So put a couple of those in. More guards. A couple of more scientists. And here it is. Now, one thing that's quite good is that when you do training, these guys who get up here can then train all these lower tiers because they were once a guard or a mercenary. So that's an advantage when it comes to the training. So these guys are still being interrogated, see? Dual interrogations for the win. And now the question is, are they going to be able to get in? Because if they break in, then great. If not, I don't want them blowing up stuff. Come on. See, I'm tempted to leave it at level 1 so they leave and then mark them for assassination and then let these guns do their work. But I might have to switch it back to level 3. I've got to watch carefully as these guys make their way out. Yay. Where's people going round? Generating me like 500 every time they go round, or even just 100 every time they go round. Hello, guns! And we can now put that back to level 3 and that to level 3, because if you don't... See all these guys? These all flaming idiots. They're all social minions. And what they do is they try and escort all of these guys out of the Uber trap. And unless you put it to level 3, they'll wander in there and then get caught in the Uber trap. So let's see. There we go. We've got all the diplomats. Excellent. Things are progressing exactly as I have foreseen. Let's see who else we can have. Let's have Lord Kane as our next minion. And then what I'm going to do is show you something else. And then we're done. And we'll do some Planetside too. Actually, he's not nonchalanting anymore, is he? But what I'm surprised is that he doesn't actually slip over on all the cartridges, which would be kind of funny. Anyway, rocket stage 4. Haven't got enough for rocket stage 5. Look, see, they're all going into the freezer there. So we're just waiting for them. Yes, I will be playing Planetside 2 after this, but there's something I want to show you first, which is a very cool game I got recently. In fact, screw it. Let's save it there. So that has been the first ever live streaming of Evil Monday. I'm going to stop and start the stream, guys, so you'll need to restart. You probably need to refresh. And we'll be showing you a new game. So save. Yes. So, be right back.